Testing, 1, 2, testing. Hey, looks like we're live. How's everybody doing today? Thanks for dropping by if you're coming by. Bronze Dragon bringing you the Saturday morning stand-up for August 24th, 2024. It's 11:30 here in Eastern Daylight Time in the United States. I see a few people are already in the audience. Welcome. Gatherings here. Says good morning. He's grinding away for more cards. Things are looking good in the Splinterverse. Hoping all is well with you. I hope all is well with you as well. Yeah, things are looking up. I mean, the tokens are going up, and we'll talk about that after a while. Dehota's in the crowd. Says hello. Thanks for dropping by. Rain Man with the main plan is in the house, live from the UK. Thanks for dropping by. A little bit later in the afternoon over there. Appreciate you coming by. Crypto Beaver's in the house. Good morning to the Beaver. Thanks for dropping by. We've got a little mixture. I know Rain Man's here to talk about Atlas Earth a little bit. Everybody else is probably here to talk about Splinterlands, but we'll mix it up. As always, we talk about whatever is good to talk about. As far as gaming goes, I like to keep the topic on gaming and mostly in the play to earn / Web3 type atmosphere. But we've got a lot going on. As you, I don't know if you know, but this match just populated, and it looked interesting because it was in a topic on a video, I forget, a week or two ago, where I had said that I really like the Coastal Sentry, which my face is blocking out a little bit, but it's the card on my opponent, and it's set in the secondary spot because his, let me see if I can, I can't move it around, but his summoner is gives it reach. So I wanted to go ahead and let this play out. Looks like an interesting battle, but interesting. That had just populated, so I figured we'd take a look at that. People's Guild is in the house. Gentlemen, howdy. I don't know about gentlemen, but welcome. Thanks for dropping by. We're taking a look at this match, the most recent match. This is populated by Archmage, of course. Gathering says, hello all. Hope everyone is having a good day. Daniel Clayson. Hope I didn't butcher your last name. Good morning. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. Just taking a look at this match. What's everybody doing? I did a few things in Splinterlands this week. It was interesting. I've seen that, of course, SPS is going up, which is a good thing. After all these days, months of it going down, it's always good to see it going up instead of down. DEC is in a good situation now as well due to all of the DEC burning for the unlocking of soulbound cards. Everybody, hey, whatever you think about, you want to talk about, just go ahead and throw it in chat and we'll talk about it. And I lost this one. So my takeaway from that is that, let me see here, is that Coastal Sentry is a great card to be used in the second position with Possibilis as the summoner. So I do not have my Possibilis leveled up, so I will have to take a look at that because I'm a big fan of the Coastal Sentry. Either way, let's check out chat, see what's going on in chat. Let's see here. Rooney207's here. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Says good morning to everyone. Rain Man with the main plan says, I got a question on Atlas Earth. I have 28 parcels, but when I look at who's at the top on my area, it says I only have 27. That's pretty wild. I don't know why that would happen. Mine's always been pretty accurate. With a lot of these situations where there's an issue with the game, these games are not perfect, right? And he's talking about Atlas Earth. What I would do is I would put a ticket in and I would ask support. And you can go into your settings and use the help and support button. and do that. I was just looking at my phone just to make sure I was directing you correctly. But I would go into the support and section and put in a ticket and give them a screenshot of what you're talking about. It always helps because there's a little, just like making an email and putting an attachment on an email, there's a little thing where you can take a screenshot of what you're seeing on your phone and then attach that to the help ticket, and it makes things go a lot smoother. So that's what I would do for that. Bolts 85's in the house. What's up? If everybody's old enough to remember that commercial, one of my favorite commercials from when? The 90s? Morning, fellas. Morning, Bolts. Paul Taylor's here. Thanks for dropping by. Paul Taylor's in the house. Gathering says, SPS is heading up, but how long will it last? I'll take it as long as we can get it, my fellows. In fact, I bought some SPS this week. I've bought SPS the last couple weeks, but there was like a drought there where I went a few weeks without buying any. But you can see it's kind of leveling off a little bit, and I don't necessarily know why it's going up. I'm not one of those market watchers that can tell you, oh, this happens because of this. But you can also see, which is much more dramatic while we're on this page. Look at SPS, or look at DEC rather. Look at this valley. Bam. And you know what? I can tell you almost for sure that this is due to unlocking cards. So I think it's a bit maybe more dramatic than maybe. I mean, the graph could be made less dramatic. Either way, it's a huge drop off due to burning DEC to unlock cards, which I did. I did unlock some cards in this past week. It was summoners, and I funneled those summoners over my extra summoners. Okay, so I ended up maxing out, just kind of like a side topic here. Let's go into Chaos Legion and rewards. So I have all my Chaos Legions maxed out now on my main account. I need to send these dragons over to my secondary, but I ended up sending my extras after I unlock them over to my secondary, and I used them to level up my secondary account. I had to buy a few extra BCX. I think most of these summoners on my secondary account are like a level 5 now, and I'm thinking actually about buying some extra BCX and leveling my secondary ones up to level 6, but that's just in the back of my head right now. Let's see here. What's going on? Rain Man says, thanks. No problem. Rooney207 says, Bronze Dragon always so rich in glint. Well, I spent some as soon as they made the change. Next brawl has started. Okay, so after the show, I'll have to go in and do my brawls, just to remember. I'm actually down. I was up over 900,000. I had saved up, and I don't know if you caught that video, but whenever the changes went live, I went ahead and spent a bunch. I spent like 800,000, 700,000, something like that, to get my new collection started, right? So get a good base, and I think I have a pretty good base. You know, my new cards are mostly the commons are like level 4, rares are like level 2, and the epics are level 2, and the legendaries are level 1. I have to come up with a strategy on what I'm going to do as far as moving forward, because it appears that I'm going to make let's see how many days we have left on the season. We have about a week, just under 7 days left on the season. I'm probably going to earn about 100,000 glint, somewhere in the 90 to 100,000 glint somewhere. And I have to come up with a strategy on how I'm going to effectively use them. If you didn't see, Gathering had put out a video this last week. It was like 4 or 5 days ago, something like that. And the topic was comparing the purchasing of the draws versus the chests. And he came up, and I'm not going to do any spoilers on it, but he came up with some interesting points. This was on the top of my mind because I was watching it when I was working out this morning. but he came up with some interesting top points as far as, he digs into the numbers, and sometimes the numbers are like way above my head. I understood where they're coming from and everything, but I have to come up with two different strategies, right? Because my primary account is coming in at, I don't want to say, it's coming in at like a diamond level type idea strategy, whereas my secondary account is still a lot lower, and it is pulling in a lot less glint. So he was doing the numbers, and it was interesting to hear, but he was talking about spending huge amounts of glint. And I can understand about doing the first three batches, but that's huge amount of glint compared to like a lot of us. I don't know, I'll just speak about myself. I can't afford, like I said, probably the max I would ever spend in one season would be 100,000, and that's if I spent all the glint that I made in a full season, right? And I had to come up to an effective strategy to use what I'm making to level up my collection. It's going to be tough on legendaries, right? The legendaries are so expensive, but either way, I'll be spending the glint. In fact, on my secondary account, I need to do a video about, because I haven't even spent any of the glint from the changeover. I need to get my new reward set started. I was trying to get my old reward set kind of, set as far as the summoners and everything to help my secondary account, because I thought the summoners would help them the most, right? But I still need to get that. There's a lot of stuff going on. Plus, I'm playing Atlas Earth, and I've been playing EVE Online a bunch lately with my brother. We were out harvesting gas clouds and wormholes this week, which is extremely lucrative, but it's also extremely dangerous. I lost a ship, and I think he lost like 3 ships due to gankers, but different game topic. Let's see here. Let's see what's going on here. And if you're interested in any of these games, of course, I'll always leave my referral links in the show notes in this live stream. Check them out if you want to check out one of these new games we talk about. Would appreciate it. Helps me out a little bit. Let's see here. People's Guild said I just hit 300k SPS. Nice. I'm still shooting for that 100k. I've put in a little bit, like on a weekly basis, and I'm still at 88. You can see here I do have, thanks to my benefactor is lending me 50,000, so I am punching above my weight as far as my earnings, because a friend of the show is lending me some, but I'm still shooting for that 100k. It'll be like a magic number. Like I said, I just continue to roll over what I make, and I am doing a claim on my land. I try to claim it every few days. And when I do, I usually get, I don't even want to say 30, 50, 100. Probably when I do my claims, I probably get in the 100 to 200 SPS range from all my properties, and then that rolls in, obviously. So I'm not really taking anything out as far as SPS goes. It just all continues to roll over. I keep a cushion of 500 SPS liquid because, as you know, I do play a bunch of other Hive-based games. So once in a while, I'll like, hey, I want to go over and buy a pack in Woo. To buy cards. You can also invest, and I do have some Woo staked as well, but to buy packs, and in Golem Overlord and all these other games we talk about. So I do keep a little liquid stash there to buy a pack or two here and there. Okay, let's see what's everybody's going on. Rain Man says, what is SPS? Sorry. Okay, so the biggest game I talk about on this channel, I also play Atlas Earth is kind of something I started relatively like 4 months ago. But I've been covering a game called Splinterlands. and it is on it's a blockchain based game. It's a card game, where you can see on my screen now, you collect cards. It's, you know, like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, except for it's online and it's based on a blockchain, so you can buy, sell, trade cards. But one of the key components of the game, to be able to earn quote unquote money in the game, which is called the SPS token, the Splinter Shards token. I'm just taking, I know a lot of people here are familiar, but it's always good to get good new eyes on the topic, right? So I'm going to spend a minute to explain it. And the SPS token, you can buy, sell, trade it. It's just like any other cryptocurrency. And you buy some and you stake it in the game. And then you earn more rewards in the game from card matches that you play and you win. You don't win anything if you don't win. But the takeaway is that it is, a lot of people in this game hold a lot of the tokens because they've been playing for quite a long time. And a lot of people also treat this as an investment of sorts. I always say that I treat it as a game, although I do have some money put into it. A lot of my approach is from the gaming and the card collecting aspect. And I always say this is not investment advice. But to answer your question, Rain Man, SPS token, the Splinter Shards token, you need to buy that to play, to get to play Splinterlands, and also to get rewards out of Splinterlands. So that's his basics. If you want to know more information, check out some of my videos. I have a lot of videos on the topic, and we can. For what it's worth, the team is in this. What do I want to call, the last year, the last 6-8 months, and drawing down to the fall, they've been working on what they're calling the player experience, or the new player experience. So they're reworking how easy and the game is to get into. And once those changes to the game have been put into place, and they've been putting them in a little bit at a time, once everything goes into place, I'm going to be reworking my new player type guide type thing on my channel. I've had a few people ask for that lately, which is a good sign, because really what we want to see is new players come into the game and get fresh players into the game. You may be interested in card games, you may not, but that's what SPS is. So let's see here. Let me take a drink. How are we doing on time? We're doing good. So yeah, I bought some SPS this week. I also bought a little bit of DEC, which is a secondary token in the game that's used for buying, selling, and things like this. I think I mentioned last week I had upgraded one of the totems on one of the plots of my land from common to rare, and I was going to look at that today as well. Let's go over to Peak Monsters, if it'll load. See what everybody's saying while this is loading. Paul says, a few whales bought a ton of SPS. Yeah, it apparently looks like it. It's driving it up. So the question is, like Gathering said, is this going to continue? Rooney207 Gathering says, congratulations on that milestone, referring back to the People's Guild hitting 300K. Yes, it's huge. Like I said, I'm still working on 100K. Let's look at, well, wow. Land plots. You can find some land plots for $8.99 now. And of course, they're still not, this is not happening in the zones I'm in, or the regions I'm in. This is all in other regions, but I necessarily was not looking for that. I was looking for asset market to see rare totems, $29. And what I really, the last few totems I put together just have been out of fragments. So a rare fragment is going for $265 now, and you need 8, or $270, $3. They're staying around in this leg, but I try to grab some pieces of the fragments when I can, and eventually at good prices, and then I put together a totem. And I'm in the process of trying to upgrade my common totems to rares, basically. And I think I also slid a few gold foil rares, couple, since they've been down in price. Once again, most of my land has maxed gold foil commons, Chaos Legion, and I'm trying to strategically upgrade those once in a while to rares, while keeping my grain balance in line with everything else that's going on. So my strategy is to improve the SPS that I'm bringing in, but at the same time keep my grain income so I don't have to buy off of anybody. So let's see here. Rooney says, Brave Tofu bought a bunch of SPS and DEC, being burnt a bit more recently. Rooney207 says, at Rainman, main governance token for Splinterlands. Onk12C is in the house. Says, hi everyone, and smash the like. Yes, please smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. More recently, we went over that 1,000-person mark, and we're closing in on 1,100. So I do appreciate it. It does help me out. And I did turn on, from a YouTube perspective, I did turn on the commercialization because I want to make a little bit off this, but I'm trying to keep it to minimal. So I do appreciate you putting up, if you're watching my videos, I do appreciate you putting up with the commercials. So, and on this live stream, I put it on the very minimum as possible. So, for what it's worth. Lee's in the house. Welcome, Lee. Thanks for dropping by. He says, thank you for the info in your videos, especially Atlas Earth. I know you're glad you're here. Several YouTubers sort of abandoned Atlas Earth about a year ago before Atlas released a lot of the new useful features. Yeah, I'm trying to cover Atlas Earth as much as possible. Let's bring my phone over here. By the way, if you're interested, this is a cool program I use called Reflector 4, and you can put it on your computer and you can run it on your phone and show it on your monitor if you have a use for it. But yeah, there's been, you've seen these videos, you see me put them out at least once or twice, maybe 3 times a week, just depending upon how much is going on. Once again, this is a game that you run on mobile, and you earn rent off of the property you buy. Those of you who've been watching my videos lately, you know I get into that land game type thing. But once again, this is a small development team, and they've been putting out a lot of changes lately. In fact, South Africa just came online with the game here last week sometime, and it's getting ready to go live in Germany and France as well. So, and I'm getting ready to go. I'm in the almost a $64 earned mark, and I am chugging down. You'll see that I'm 6,132. The magic number is I'm looking for 7,000 Atlas bucks, and then I will be able to do my big video where I do a tier skip and buy 70 parcels of land all at the same time. Well, consecutively, not all at the same time, and do that type of video, and then my rent will jump. But I like covering the game. They're doing a lot with the game. Obviously, nothing is perfect. Everything is a work in progress, but they're bringing a lot of countries online with that game this week, or not this week, but this year. And they're showing a lot of progress for a small development team. So I like playing it, and it's been taken up. You know, it doesn't take up a whole lot of time. I guess it just depends upon how much you play the games and everything. And once again, if you want to check out the game, use my referral code in the show notes. We both get a little bit out of it, so appreciate it. Let's see what's going on in chat. Raceland's here. Welcome. Once again, love the name. If nobody knows what his name refers back to, it's a trio of books from Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, and I'm dating myself, but this must have been the 90s, correct me if I'm wrong, mid-90s. Great set of books. It's a trio of books. Triad, I guess, would be the proper word. If you're into Dungeons and Dragons, that type of story frames, and you read, look up. And I'm spacing it and forgetting the name of the books, but it's a triad of books from Hickman, Weiss and Hickman, and look them up. Dungeons and Dragons theme, but great set of books. And his name, Raceland, just kind of getting off on a tangent here, is a very interesting character. That is one of those characters. A lot of times you can put a character in a bucket that's either good or bad, and this is one of those characters that's continually fighting in my mind. And it's been a while since I read the books, but he's fighting between being good and bad. And I'm not going to spoil it if you end up wanting to read the books, but to me, he was one of the more interesting characters in the book set. But welcome, Raceland. Happy weekend to you as well. Rooney207 says, yeah, you and Gathering are too glint rich for me. Well, I don't even want to say it's a problem. And financially, I do this in real life as well. I hate spending everything. I always like to have a cushion of in-game or in real life to fall back on if I make I don't want to make a bad decision, and throw everything into one thing, and then the next week going, oh, I should have saved it and put it into something else. So that's why I don't spend all my glint. It's not because I don't want the cards or anything. It's just I'm continually shifting around, watching, the numbers videos that Gathering puts out and some of the other guys, and just kind of taking everything in and trying not to spend everything in one location so I can, hopefully not lose out on something. I think that's where I am. Let's see here. Raceland says, sad, didn't get to DCA into more SPS around half a penny before poking its head up. Well, I think depending upon how you look at it, I think it still has a lot of upward potential. I think that it has upward potential, logic would say, until the cutoff date when it stops being put out, which is another, 2 years, maybe less, I'm not sure. But if you're in the game and you're looking at the period of SPS being actually put out, when we hit that wall of, okay, SPS is no longer produced, that's, in my mind, it's got to go up from there, right? Now, this is obviously if the game is still around, but the game's been around for over 6 years now, so why wouldn't it be around for another 2 or 3 years, right? And the other side of that is if the new player experience goes well and we can get a lot of new players into the game that like the game, and from there they can, if the game starts getting more popular and we have more influx of players into the game, there is more need for SPS, and it becomes worth more. And then that kind of facilitates them being able to add a few people to the team. They're making a little bit more money. They can add a little bit more people to the team, which helps them improve the game. So it's kind of like, it's just a wheel, right? So that's the other side to look at. Let me see. Sorry, I missed where chat is. Gathering says, I'm not glint rich at all. Mystic Force is in the house. Hello. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Fusion Sound is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by as well. Says, I was waiting for 0.001 to load up on SPS. Yeah, my brother, we talk on this all the time, and he's like, yeah, at 0.001, I'm backing up the truck. Well, guess what? Like any investment, right? This is just it's just what do I want to say? It's gambling is what it is. You're betting, that you're going to buy in at a certain point. You're betting that it's going to go up, and you're also betting on the team. Buying into SPS is betting on the future of this game. So, if you buy into SPS, that means that you believe in the future of the game, you know, to a certain extent, right? Those people that buy in like whales and buy in huge amounts believe more, you know, but that I can't even wrap my head around how much some of these people put into the game. And, you know, for that matter, any of these games, online games where they buy, sell, trade things, you know, like in Atlas Earth recently, they announced let me just show this. I'm trying to go back and forth between topics because I'm trying to give a little bit of content for everybody here. But recently, they put skins into the game, okay? And this skin, you can see you can buy a campsite skin for your parcels of land. And before that, it was 3 beach scenes. These 2,500 Atlas bucks. Now, it upgrades your parcel to legendary, which gets about exactly 4 times the rent of what a common parcel does. But this costs as much as 25 regular parcels. So it really makes no sense logically to buy this parcel upgrade unless you just want the artwork. Okay, that's my main point. In games across the you know, time and time again, we play these games, and even in Splinterlands, they're talking about, you know, that's one of the things that's on the development table is the skins. People love skins. People love artwork. I'm not necessarily one of those persons that pays just to have something look different in game. I was always the guy in the raid that had the mishmash of armor. I didn't care. If it was an upgrade, I'd take it. I didn't care how it looked. But, you know, a lot of these big games out there, PUBG and all the like, you know, people pay time and time again, $25, $50, $100 for a skin just to make a rifle in game look different, you know? So that would apply in Atlas Earth. People are paying. You can watch as what's happening in the game scrolls past, and you can see that once in a while people are buying these upgrades. And these big games that everybody plays, not me, I'm not really a looter shooter kind of guy, but they pay tons and tons of money. So, you know, I guess my thing I'm talking about, my topic is that skins work in games and people pay for different artwork just to look different, right? So I'll be looking forward to when they bring those into game as well. I mean, I know they had the older set, which is on its way out, but I know I got off on a wild tangent though. People's Guild says, I'm going to try to keep stacking before we hit 0.01. Raceland says that Fusion Sound would have been nice. 500,000 would be awesome. To the People's Guild shooting for 500,000 after they just hit their 300K. And Raceland's goal is 1 million. Sweet. Raceland says, gotta hurry before Azurkon moves it up more. Bolts85 says, a quick ghost challenge at the People's Guild. We'll post the link. Nice. Let me know how it goes. They're setting up their ghost challenge. Yeah. Yeah, those ghost challenges are pretty cool. Basically, they were put into the game recently where you can challenge somebody and you can use ghost cards and just have like access to any card in the game. You're not going to earn off of it, but it's fun to play cards you wish you had because they're too expensive, right? Let's see here. Gathering says, anyone heard time frame for Land 1.7? No, I haven't. They've been mostly working on the player experience, and Bolts wants to challenge me. Let's do a challenge. Why not? Okay, I'm going to take this onto my other screen so I can go ahead and create my teams. Okay, we got 44 mana. We've got healed out, no healing. We got 5 alive, so only 5 units can be used. And we've got blood and sunder. All units gain corrosive ward. And I'm being silent because I'm going through and choosing my monster or my cards. I think I'll throw in one of the new ones in there. Okay. Okay, let's check out the battle. Once again, this is a... Oh, sorry about that. Wrong tab. I am looking for my tab. I might have just lost our battle. See, this is what happens. I am not good at doing battles while I'm trying to do the live stream. Let's go to Splinterlands. Log in. Yeah, I lost it. Sorry about that. Okay, well, back to the chat. Sorry, everybody. Sorry about that, Bolts. Yeah, I'm concentrating on so many things when I'm streaming that to do the battle, what I did was I brought my screen over to pick my cards, and then for some reason I lost it when I went to move it back. This is confusing. I don't know. Oh, I see. My tab wasn't. Here we go. Here's the battle. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. He used a bunch of new ones. Oh, he used a max out Venka. Pretty wild. Okay, well, let's see how it goes. Let's look at chat while we're checking this out. Bolts85 says, Bolts is about to go to school. International Travel Channel's in the house. Guten Tag. Welcome. Good evening. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. Wibble's here, late as usual with the big wee. Welcome. People's Guild says, send it over. Oh, talking about sending some challenges. Wow. I thought I had pulled this off, but it looks like this is going to be a close one. Yeah, he's got me. These are 2 cards I need to look into. Yeah, Okay, yes, I do know that I need to do my brawls after the live stream. Okay, let's see what's going on in chat. Alex Toro is here. Welcome. Alts won't pop till Bitcoin hits near 100K. I think generally you're right, but I also think that SPS is uncoupled from Bitcoin. I'm one of those ones that you see it. SPS is really heavily influenced, obviously, by what we're doing, the players doing. And I don't think that is largely coupled to Bitcoin with the buying and selling. Because in my mind, and, you know, point it out in chat if you think I'm wrong, and I'm not a big trader, right? But in my mind, for it to be coupled to Bitcoin, it would have to be one of those tokens that is widely has interest, people interested in to go and buy, sell, and trade that, because obviously they want to buy it and sell it, make a little profit. I don't think that applies to SPS. I think that SPS is largely driven by the player economy and largely driven by the people at the top, the whales, right? Obviously, a lot of us we're all making SPS at one point or another. But like we were talking about earlier, one person making this huge buy drove it way up. So I don't know necessarily if it's linked to Bitcoin, although it couldn't hurt, right? And Bitcoin going up would help the company as well. I'm sure they have a certain amount invested in that. Jeffrey writes here, good morning. Those tier jumps are so satisfying in Atlas Earth. Well, I'm getting ready to experience my first. It's been a while. If for those people who don't play Atlas Earth, there are, let me see here. Let's go over to the page. There are tiers of earning. Let's go into support. And okay, so I put out a video the other day on this, and there are tiers of numbers of parcels, and when you hit a certain tier number or amount of parcels number, your boost will actually go down that you get on a daily basis. You have to go in every 20 minutes, click a button, watch a commercial. The whole game is driven by advertising, right? That's how you get your money. But strategically speaking, you have to stop at certain points and then save up, and then logically and strategically make a full jump from, see, I'm sitting at 150. I'm getting ready to make my full jump from 151 to 220. Because if I'm sitting at 150, if I bought that one extra parcel and I'm at 151, my boost goes down to 20 times from 30 times, and what I'm earning goes down too, until I get up around a break-even point, which is probably about 205, 210, something like that. And then my earnings increase. So people do what's called tier jumping, and they save up their Atlas bucks and do the full jump all at one time, all 70 parcels all at one time. It takes a while to save that up, but it's strategy. It's strategy so you don't lose money, basically. Okay, let's keep going. People's Guild says getting some new cards thrown your way at Bolts 85. They're doing some challenges. At Alex Toro sold SOL to 200 plus in the next, talking about the SOL token. Alex T says 800 at the top. Raceland says using Golem Overlord to farm SPS. I've been playing Golem Overlord. In fact, I think that in fact, the gates are just open. He's got this new type of game called Conquest he's working on. But our guild's been doing pretty good. I mean, right now, this past week, we got into guild research speed, and we're working on level 3 now. For those unfamiliar, in your guild, you research a number of different things, which basically everything you research helps you in some form or fashion. But what we're working on now is the blueprint claim multiplier, because if you're playing and you're trying to level up your guild, you quickly realize that it's not really the research, although research speed does help. It's not that is the limiting factor. It is actually the blueprints available, because every time your guild researches through one skill box, like once we research through this skill box, then I have the chance of going from 3% to an extra 6% on guild research speed, but it will take a certain amount of blueprints, which the number keeps going up. So whenever I go to do this, we're going to need probably about 60 blueprints, which we don't have at this point. So that's the limiting factor. And either way, we're working on getting over to blueprint claim multiplier, which will increase our claims of blueprints, which will help us out. I know you didn't ask, but that's what we're doing in Golem Overlord. Otherwise, everything's going pretty smoothly, doing the daily quests, everything like that, researching everything out. Okay, let's see what's going on. I know I'm falling behind. I'm doing a lot of talking. Alex T says, my guys are saying the new top for SPS is 24 to 26 cents. Yeah. You know, this is just all reasonable, educated guesses. You know, it could do anything. Like I said, we've seen a huge increase this week that was just due to a few people buying a bunch of SPS, right? I don't think there's necessarily a top to it. Maybe there's a top which you could talk about that's reasonably within the next few months time frame. But like I said, what I'm really looking at is down the road when SPS is not printed anymore. I myself want to feel secure when we hit that point that I have bought what I wanted to buy, and then all bets are off, right? Because at that point, then, like I said, I would be happy if SPS got fractionalized, right? Because that would mean we would have a ton of people in the game, and there was a lot of need for SPS, right? So Alex T points out that it was at 34.34. And Gathering says, I would take 10 cents for SPS. Alex T says, don't sell too soon. Rooney207 says, hey, at Alex, what's Bitcoin? Alex T says, Azarcon, moving the market is a joke. It's interesting, and that's a lot of money to be thrown around. That amount of money just kind of scares me. It's not that I dislike Splinterlands or I don't agree that it's going to continue. It's just that's a huge amount of money, right? Rooney207 says, Lumitera is helping Ronin add to their treasury. Not familiar. I'm familiar with Ronin Network, but I'm not familiar with Lumitera. Bolt says, thanks for the challenges. Yeah, hey, I would be up for it. If I wasn't live streaming, I'd be up for some challenges. It's just my brain works kind of, you know, concentrate on one thing at a time, I guess. Gathering says, favorite new rewards cards. What rarity are you looking to max first? That's interesting. Usually I approach the sets from the rare standpoint. And I think the rares are moderately cheap to kind of work on, but also give you, they give you, what do I want to say? Here's the way I look at the cards. Okay, so commons are handy pretty much across the board. As they get rarer and rarer, they get stronger, but you have more specific use cases for them. That's what I want to say. So I think rare is kind of that fine line in the middle there, and usually I approach it from kind of working on the rare standpoint. And as far as now, I don't really have a favorite card right now. That one that has we want to clear this and go to Rebellion rewards instead. No, rewards, not promo. So it's a legendary. No, it's not. I like Grifsy. The one I'm talking about is Epic. Oh, Olivia of the Brook is the one I'm talking about. I'm really interested to find out how Mimic really works. And if anybody's got any experience, have you got Mimic to fire off and start putting a strategy around that? Let me know. That's what I'm one of the things I'm interested in. Alex T says, oh no, y'all making bolts too strong. He's been slaughtering the bodies. Rooney says, I am planning to max rare set first. Well, just like what I just said. Alex T is going to max common, then epics. And Gathering says, Alex, why don't you stream? Would love to see some content from you. Alex says, I got nothing to sell to my Splinterlands people. Streaming would be a big waste of money for me. And Gathering points out that he would love to hear his or her perspective on things. I do have some guys working on crypto investing community, but even with that, the plan was just releasing blogs. Lee says, hopefully you'll show us as you get all 70 of them plats. Yeah, I'm going to put together a video on it. It's not going to be live. I wanted to sit here at my desk and buy the 70 parcels, but what I'm going to end up having to do is make a recording of my phone screen while I'm walking around my yard, because I can't sit here and reach the 70 parcels I need. So, I will put that together and it will be put into a video, and I'll speed it up, but you'll be able to see what I get, and as everything's reveals, and I'll have the totals as far as the rarities I get as well. Gathering says he wants to see Alex go one-on-one with Tails. And People's Guild says, dude, that Golem Overlord background is rad. Yes, I know I have an outstanding battle. Yeah, it's one of the nicer ones. I was lucky enough to get. It has the moving on it. It's the higher rarities. In Golem Overlord, the background you set is an actual NFT, and it improves your shard rate, the rate at which you get shards, which is one of the tokens in game. So it's cool looking, as well as being actually give you a bonus. So like I said, I usually don't do things just for the looks. That was cool, and it gives me a bonus. So Alex T says, I offered to debate Tails, but he didn't want to. He couldn't take the heat. Raceland says, nice, your guild is making good progress on research. Yeah, we're plugging along. It's the research is good. It's a crypto burn, right? It's a burn mechanism put in place. You earn more, but you're also spending the various tokens to go ahead and bring the research along. I'm hoping that doing all this will put us in a good situation. I didn't check, but we're usually, between 10 and 15th rated in the game. We're just plugging along, we're not some super powerful guild or something like that, but I'm just making use of that, and everybody's pitching in and helping along, and we're spending as we go along. But like I said, at the base of it, it's a burn mechanism, which is helping because he's keeping the game, as far as the tokens, in a pretty good situation. So Alex T says, I want to debate him on the bot topic, but he didn't want to. I would annihilate him in a debate, and I'm sure he knows that he so refused my offer. Well, Raceland says, a nice animated background. I love my animated one too. Yeah, I think I was kind of lucky to get into that. I think I got that out of a crate. I know I wouldn't have spent the massive amount of money they cost, so I was lucky to get that. I'm lucky once in a while. Usually my randomality luck is not that high. I have a bunch of crates from the last sale, the new crates that I need to open up. Yes, I know. Alex T says, I'm kind of worried about what the community might. Sorry, I lost my track of thought. What the community might do after SPS is fully distributed. Yeah, that I'm really looking forward to it because in my mind, that's the point where we have real upside potential. Because at that point, it's no longer printed. We have obviously the one of the big variables is how many people you got playing in the game, right? So if everything goes off well and we start having and I'm not saying to the moon, right? I'm saying just the game keeps improving. We have a steady stream of people coming in, versus having the same group of people just buy stuff over and over again. Steady stream of people increases the need for more SPS, right? And I guess we'll see. It's all a bet at the end of the day, right? Um, People's Guild says, yeah, we need to start planning that now. Gathering says they better not vote on making more. They should not make more SPS. In my mind, I'm kind of a few months ago we were talking about doing something about SPS and changing it in some factor. I think there's too much out there, but that all once again depends upon the. I'm just checking my time here, getting towards the bottom of the hour, but. The big variable, how many people play in the game, how many people need SPS, right? That number goes up, then what we're talking about is completely different, right? So Rooney207 says Lumaterra is the top Web3 game right now with 1 million plus players and earning insane money for Ronin. Well, I have to look at it. I may have seen it. The name just did not, and I'm reaching over here to get a piece of paper. Some of these games, there's so many games out now that I look at and immediately I'm just, even though they might be good earners, immediately I'm just turned off because it's not the kind of game that I'm interested in. And I'm not going to force, I've got so many games I'm playing right now. I'm not going to force myself to play something that I'm not having at least a modicum of fun doing, right? So that would be just work. Gathering says the proposal to ban any additional SPS creation. Rooney says it will be extremely difficult for SPS to maintain 10 cents long term post fully diluted at 3 billion. Market cap will be a concern there. Yeah, I'll defer to you guys. Like I said, I'm not a market watcher, and I just know that to make use of the amount of SPS that's being printed, we need more people, right? Of course, you could have some big wigs, big whales that go in and buy a bunch, of course. But for the health of the game, we need more players. And that hopefully will result from what they're doing with the game now, trying to improve it, right? It's just a work in progress, So like anything we work on at whatever work you do, you have a long-term project, you just keep trying to improve it, right? Bolts85 says, at Gathering the Magic, I burned a card for 12,500 glint. I'll let you guess which type it was. Well, that would have had to be a legendary, right? And probably had to be a gold foil. Alex T says, Olivia is a beast in the right conditions. Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around how that new power works. People's Guild says, man, that ability is dumb. It needs to be nerfed. Basic strategy for Olivia is to turtle her in a team. The People's Guild says Dispel should wipe all abilities at once, and she should only have a chance to pick up an ability when she strikes an enemy. Well, I'm sure this is one of those things. This is one of those variables that you put into the game, and you try to test it as good as possible, but it's one of those things that will probably end up being nerfed because they weren't able to fully test it because, how do you fully test it? Well, you put it out for everybody to use and then you see what's going to happen, right? So Bolts 85 got a keep. Wow. Nice. That's pretty sweet. Do you have that keep up and running? Do you have it fully staked out and up and running? That's the question. Alex T says, nah, you can counter Olivia fairly easily if you know she's coming. People's Guild says, yo, Bolts 85, that's awesome. And, you know, if you're not familiar, a keep is one of the larger pieces of land in the land game in Splinterlands, right under a castle. So it's a fairly expensive proposition. My Financial Journey says, Mimic is crazy. And Alex T says Mimic is super fun. Yeah, I'm still trying to get into using it. My Financial Journey says I pulled a gold foil on day 1 for my gold foil brawler account. I had her double self-healing and double triaging. Wow, that sounds pretty massive. Sounds like it'd be hard to get through. Alex T says they should 100% not make more SPS. I agree with that. I think what we have is too much for the amount of players we have. But with that said, a lot of these decisions were made back in the day when there were a ton of bot farm accounts and the numbers were inflated and it was tough to get an actual bead on how many actual players we had in the game and all the changes that have come along the line. I think a lot of the changes have been fine. I mean, over the course of the game, I'm making a lot less than what I did, but you know, the game is still going. We're still able to talk about it, and we're still able to play on a daily basis and they still have a team, even though it's a small team, improving the game. SPS is headed up. I don't know if that's an artificially inflated number because, like we were talking about, a few select people went in and bought a bunch, and whether, you know, to Gathering's point, is it going to go back down? Who knows? But I'll take an up day or an up week versus another down week. That's for sure. Rooney207 says Aggie will say, let's go for 21 billion SPS. Now, any resolution or any question that comes across for me to vote on that says, hey, make more SPS will be a definitive no. We have enough. Let's work with it. This has been in the white paper and everything has been going. I mean, I think at this point we have more than enough. But once again, like I said, if we get more people into the game, then those sentiments will change and things will start to rapidly change when we reach the end point and SPS is no longer minted. Okay. To me, that's the magic day. And I'm not one of those, you know, I'm like the opposite of being a hype man, right? I just try to look at it logically and give you my thoughts. I'm going to continue to buy, if not weekly, bi-weekly, every once in a while. And like I said, I don't buy a huge amount. I just buy a little bit. And this goes from my, it's a common strategy, you know, dollar cost averaging. I figure that if I just buy a little bit at a time, as time goes along, everything will average out, right? I'm not going to win a huge amount and I'm not going to lose a huge amount. So that's kind of the way I am in life, right? So Alex T says, I'll fight Aggie. People's Guild says, I'll fight Aggie too. Found 1,000 colony today and immediately sold, which is another token. I claim mine on a daily basis when I remember. I'm getting like 5.5. So see, I haven't claimed for 2 days, so I got a little, almost 11. So we'll go ahead and claim. But they're just sitting there, and I haven't done anything with them. So I don't know. Maybe I should go in and sell. I don't know. The People's Guild, Rooney207 says, dumping on Aggie so soon. I know we're running over here, but I liked Aggie for what he is. He's a hype man. He's a marketing guy. For what he was, he did his job good. I think that this could go on, but I don't really like to dump on people. I think everybody has a specific skill set that they're pretty good at. And I think for what he was, I mean, he does his job good. But for the long-term viability of the game, I think Matt's doing a pretty good job. But that's, you know, an eternal debate here, right? So, or until the game ends, right? And then I'll have to figure out what else to do with my channel. But Bolts85 says yes at a 44% tax rate. Gathering says, anyone making any rebellion moves? We're going late, but I'm just trying to finish off the what's going on in chat. Hate to cut off anybody. Alex T says, I will actually vote against any SPS increase. I never voted on anything, not even the bot thing, but that for sure can't be allowed. I agree. We don't need any extra SPS. Compared to a lot of these new games that are coming. If you've noticed, a lot of the new games, they have a lot fewer tokens that they're issuing. Not that I'm an expert on that, but I noticed that. Bolt85 says, the less there are, the better. Rooney207 says, at Alex, supports the Santoshi version for SPS, aka Splintoshi shards. Bolt85 says, new card named Splintoshi. It is. Forwarding info to Nate. I think the art people, the art team is doing a pretty good job. I like the new cards. Yeah, I still like the artwork style of the older cards where you could definitely tell the difference between the artists, but I can see why they wanted to kind of homogenize and bring everything and give them a very similar, every card on the new set a very similar look. I have to say, I really like the Shock Trooper, and I'm looking forward to finding a very good use for him because I love the artwork. You know, this just screams anime to me. Whoever was the artist that drew this is an anime fan. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and finish this off. I appreciate everybody stopping by on a daily basis. Check out the show notes if you're interested in any of these games we've been talking about and want to start playing. And I intend to keep, whenever something's happening, I try to make a video on it, so like I said, I've been playing Eve a lot lately, and Atlas Earth and Splinterlands on a daily basis, and a bunch of these others. Anyway, I appreciate everybody stopping by. Have a good rest of your weekend, and I hope your week goes well. And check back in with me next week at this time. So I will see you on the flip side.